I am Moribund XIX. I was going to tell some stories and practice a little guitar, and I figured if I'm doing that, I might as well live stream it. Why not? So I'm sure I'll get all of 1.5 views over the course of the next year, so I am not concerned about being watched. But I do know that I'm going to keep any dirty comments or cuss words out for at least the next 1.5 minutes. So this is not made for kids. I probably shouldn't even show a pack of cigarettes to start off, but we will get pretty raunchy here very soon. So if you are over the age of 18, stick around and we will get underway. All right. Has it been a minute yet? I think it's a minute that they make a big deal out of stuff, even though I marked it not for kids. You know how good YouTube is regulating everything. So I gotta think of some stories to tell and some riffs to play. All right, I think it's been long enough. Well, maybe not. Don't smoke, kids. It's really, really bad for you and expensive over the years. You can see how much it's damaged my face. Okay, most of that's from fighting. Don't fight, kids. It's also stupid. Unless someone messes with your family, then fuck them up. Okay, we've officially crossed the platform of being able to cuss. And that means we can smoke. Technically, I could have smoked from the beginning, but I wanted to get all the disclaimers out. The Dave Chappelle bit that he does about how he's allowed to smoke on stage in a theater where no one is allowed to smoke in the audience because it's part of the performance. Yeah, I like that. What's the part that I had written after that? That's right. So that opening part, the soft part there, is supposed to be clean guitar, kind of smooth. I finger picked it just to give it a softer, softer attack. And then you come in with the pick and you turn on that distortion and you kind of grind into it. And then the next part, I kind of forgot. It's been a long time since I wrote that. But I do know we go through that a couple times, get the verses done, and then there's a bridge. And I should remember the bridge because it's like my favorite riff I ever wrote, even though it's so stupid simple. I remember it. I just can't play it right. I am so bad at guitar. I keep writing stuff that's above my pay grade. So if you didn't know, I'm a drummer by trade, and I have the ability to play everything I write on drums, including, I want to say without bragging, some pretty advanced level drumming. But when I play guitar, I try to write, I tend to write out of my depth and above my abilities. And that might just come down to the fact that I have tens of thousands of hours on drums and maybe a couple thousand on guitar. So, I mean, I might understand the instrument, but I'm not as good as a actual guitarist is. So it's funny when I try to show my riffs to guitarists to have them play it, and then like within 5 minutes they're playing it better than I ever could. So that just comes with the territory. I'm not a natural guitarist at all. So, but I'd like to think I'm a natural composer, and I can put together songs. I have done that in the past, and using talented musicians, I can write lyrics, melodies, harmonies, structure a song out, all based on how the drums are going to go and evolve. So, you know, your intro, outro, verse, chorus, bridge, all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty good at being unique with that. I was reminded by my friend the other day about a song. So I was like, I wonder if I can still play it, because I learned it when I was 13 or 14. I learned it on drums at the same time I learned it on bass. And so I know the bass riff, not the guitar riff. I used to know the whole song, but I like remembering the main riff. It's a song called NIB by Black Sabbath. Little known fact, that does not stand for Nativity in Black. That was a rumor. Started in the 80s, about 10 years after the song came out. If you want to really know what NIB stands for, go ask Ozzy Osbourne. So let's see if I can still remember it. Well, maybe not. I like that part. And I'm not in the correct tuning either. I'm in a half step down called E flat tuning, which is like what the Smashing Pumpkins use, and it's close to what Pantera used, although they were mostly in standard, but Dime would drop his E string like just a smidge and just get this crazy tone out of it. And that's because most of the time when he was playing that top E string, he was pulling on it, so it would go up to E standard. And if he just tuned it to E, like what Metallica uses, for example, that top string would have been high pitched because he was pulling and playing like a fucking beast. But like I said, it is what Smashing Pumpkins use. See if I can remember. Nope. So it's. So, anyway, like I said, I'm not a guitarist, but I do enjoy playing it. It keeps me sane when I can't play drums. It gets that music bug out of my head. And I like knowing just enough on the guitar to be able to yell at guitarists when they do shit wrong. Like, yes, you're out of tune, motherfucker. Let's see. I said I would tell some stories. Figure out what stories I should tell, because I've been on this planet long enough to have multiple periods of my life with stories, and so I'm like, well, where do I start? I mean, I guess I could tell some Christmas stories since it is Christmas Eve. But that's boring. Well, I'll tell the story of how I started music. When I was 5 years old, so 1992, my grandparents bought each other a Christmas present, like a shared Christmas present that they both spent, a little bit of money on for them to enjoy. And it was a 128 Casio keyboard in 1992, and those weren't cheap. And then they bought like a beginner's guide to playing some basic songs like Love Me Tender by Elvis or Yesterday by the Beatles. Some pretty basic songs. And they marked out the keys so they knew where the middle C was and where the E was, and, or E flat, D sharp. Yeah. And my sister was 4 and I was 5. And that Christmas day, when they set it up, they let us sit down and try to play it. And because I was raised by my grandparents, my sister and I both learned how to play this song. Immediately. We learned it within 5 or 10 minutes. Like, I think I learned part of it and then taught her, and then she learned the rest of it and taught me. And anyway, they immediately enrolled us in piano lessons. And within, I want to say a year, I think the next Christmas, we were playing at our church in front of a crowd. I was having my first live performances, doing, Silent Night and different Christmas songs, which is why I hate Christmas songs to this day. But that was my first experience after a year on the keyboard of playing in front of an audience. And I didn't have any real friends at that time, except like, we'll use their online names. I became friends with Cletus B. Jenkins and Hot Rod Hunk, which you can see on the channel if you go look at other things. And we're still friends to this day. But at the time, I didn't really have any friends, and performing live for that first time and then several times after, being in front of a crowd and having everyone pay attention to everything I did and being so focused not to fuck up was a very addictive feeling. To this day, it's better than any drug I've ever done. If it's the right show, it's the right crowd, and it's my original music, it's better than sex. Which I got the chance to do a little bit in a few different bands across the country. Some really good venues, really good crowds, and then the recording studio with my own original music, my own drums anyway. I obviously worked with other people who were quite talented, and I was lucky enough to have that opportunity, and I hope to do it again. I'm currently working on getting that rolling again. So let's see if I remember. Fuck. I dare not play the rest of it for lack of remembering and not wanting to disrespect our national anthem. But that was fun to learn. I think I learned that originally when I was, well, about 20 years ago. And I learned the Jimi Hendrix fret version. There's a few different versions and ways to play it. And obviously I'm a half step down, so it's not 100% accurate, but that was a fun learning experience. I'm gonna real quick link my live. And I keep having issues with the Wi-Fi and my computer. Okay, exit that, refresh that. I promise, more good stories to come. And more mediocre guitar to come. I would play drums, but every time I hit this table, it breaks my computer. So let's see if I can share this. Wow, yeah, I think I can. All right, I think I sent that to where I wanted to send it. So hopefully a few people get to see this, but I'm gonna be here for a while, probably do an hour or two, and try to be entertaining enough to keep you, I mean, I was gonna say glued, but that's pretty lame. I'll be for an hour or two. Hopefully be entertaining enough to keep you glued. I guess. And I guess that works. All right. So stories. Actual entertainment. I'm not gonna fuck around and do crazy stand-up experiments live on YouTube. I'll save that for the shitty 20-person audience that I get at a club, so I can test out those terrible jokes. But I do have good stories. And hopefully is that out of tune? Nope. Oh, okay. So I have this new riff I was working on, because I was trying out chords I've never played before. And I was just kind of guessing at what would sound good together. So the first chord is, the second chord is, the third chord is, did I figure out which one was right? Yeah. And then, and then there's a pattern to it. So you can do a multiple strumming pattern. And I am having a hard time with it. But it should go something like this. Then, nope. I gotta mute that top string. All right, try that one more time. Pretty close. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to sing over that, because it's a really basic riff. It's just 4 chords played in a particular pattern with accent notes. Like, so the first chord is, but then I accent it with, so it's, and then the second chord is, I gotta remember to do it. Yeah, I do it that way. And then I accent it with, and then you're pissing me off. And then I gotta remember, yeah, it's always skip. Like a kind of a minor note and then an accent. And back into a major. And then this chord, which I've never used before, I just tried it, and I love it. And then so my pinky, I don't know if you can see this, but my pinky's really just doing this. But then underneath of that is this chord progression. Ah, shit. Oh, fuck. So again, the pinkies. So I should probably practice it with the pinky. No, well, it doesn't start with the pinky, it goes to the pinky, so it's. I'm trying to figure out what to sing over this, because it's the first riff I've really put together in quite some time, maybe a year or two. I guess if I'm going to write something about it, it should be one of my stories. And I just got to come up with the melody and pick the story. So those are the next steps. Then I'll write the drums and the bass line, which the bass line will just obviously be Actually, that's really kind of pretty. All right, so yeah, we start there, then we go there. And then we go there. And then the bass line would be doing something more like. No. That's it. So. Shit. So how should I do that bass line? So. Something like that. The bass could probably do a bunch of shit. But this chord, I think it's a G, but I haven't ever used that. I mean, it's we're in E flat, and the top E string is an 8, the A string is a 7. We skip the D and G, and on the B string we're back on the 8, and then the bottom E is open. And that's what got me started about this song. I don't know, it just sounds pretty. I've never played that before. I just, like 2 days ago, tried it. And then so then it's a spider power. No, it's supposed to be a standard 2-string power chord, but with the top string muted. Then we go to the spider chord. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. So I got one riff. I should probably write an intro based on this part, because normally I never play that set of notes. Ooh. Still using the same spot. So I just don't like it with that bottom string being affected. I don't know. We're going to play around with that song for about 6 or 7 days till it's done. Black Sabbath wrote one of the greatest albums of all time and recorded it in 28 days. Like, it took me 2 years to write 6 songs. I mean, they're really good songs, don't get me wrong, but to write them and get them recorded, yeah. All right, I promised story time, so let me tell you the story about the highest I've ever been. Now, don't get me wrong, I have been really fucking high many times. So has pretty much everyone I know. But the highest I personally have ever been was kind of intense. So I was new to Colorado Springs, and Colorado Springs, at least at the time, I don't know if it's still true, they wouldn't allow the legal sale of recreational marijuana. You had to go to Denver or some other city that allowed it, but it wasn't allowed in Colorado Springs. Then my uncle tells me there's a weed church, and you don't buy weed, you buy prayers, and then you can exchange those prayers for weed. So they found a legal loophole around it by having it be a church and filing taxes that way. I doubt they're still around. But anyway, I got off work one day. I took the bus there. I left my car because I knew I was going to be all high. So I took the bus there, and it's like $1.50 to go 10 miles. Who cares? So I go in there and I buy 60 prayers, which is $60. And I get a gram of nice, good flour that usually lasts me for a few days. I'm not much of a smoker anymore, although I still do it daily. But then I see that they have a 10-foot contraption on a bar, and it is the first dab machine I had ever seen. This is a while before everyone got into dabs, and it was a very elaborate machine. And I asked the priest what it cost to get a hit off of that, and he said it's $40 for one hit. I said, no way. For one hit? Man, I've been smoking a long time. I can handle a lot. So for $40 a hit, you're probably just charging the rookies. And he said, no. This machine, we recommend only very experienced people use it. We won't let people we don't think know how to smoke use it. And I said, oh, okay. I'll tell you what, I have $40 to burn, but if this doesn't blow my mind, I want half that back. And he said, okay. Now, mind you, I had gotten off work. This is 2:30 in the afternoon. I had taken the bus from my job to this weed church, and this guy proceeded to load a little piece of what I now know to be wax. But this is before most people knew about this shit. And he gets it rolling, and I say, what do I do? He says, just when I tell you to, start sucking on that. He like sanitized it and everything. This is pre-COVID. And he still was like very clean about it and wearing gloves and all that. He fires it up, gets the machine going. And this was one of those machines that'll like, you don't even have to suck or inhale. It'll just force feed you what comes out of it. And I took one hit for $40. This is the highest I've ever been in my life. Within 15 minutes, I couldn't walk. And I needed to take the bus home. I was freaking out. Like, how am I going to get home? How am I going to get on the bus? So I went to the bus stop, which was right across the street, and laid down in the bushes behind the bench for 3 hours, just fucking stoned. And finally, after 3 hours, I was still fucking stoned, but okay, all right, I think I can go in public again. And I'm a performer. I've been on stage in front of hundreds and even thousands of people, and I couldn't face a crowd of 3 on a public bus. I was so high. So I did eventually make it on the bus and make it home. And then immediately just crawled up in the corner of my room at my apartment and turned on like a movie or something and just waited and rode that shit out. And that was the highest I ever been. Off of weed. We won't count other drugs. So let's see if I have any battery life left. Oh, I do. Someone messaged me. I wonder what they said. Well, oh, that's right. I forgot to do this. Do this. I'm telling my friend that I'm live streaming. Oh, God damn it. Did I just drop the pic? I guess I did. Shit. That's what flashlights are for. I don't always use the pic, but I like to have one available. God damn it. It's all because I texted my friend that I was live streaming. Oh, there it is. It tried to escape into a plastic bag. I'm going to want that flashlight to be over here. Oh, shit. So, I am in a garage, and I'm using space heaters to keep it relatively warm. The ambient temperature in here, thankfully, is 57 degrees. And with the heater blowing directly on me, it feels much more like 67 degrees. So, I do have that going for me. However, I have to be constantly aware of the fact that there are 2 dangerously hot pieces of equipment around my bed and myself. And so, yeah, I have to constantly check that. Because only you can prevent homeless fires. Ooh, wait, maybe that's what I should write the lyrics about that song. prevent homeless fires. No, that probably wouldn't work. But if my buddy, I won't say his name, but Cletus, if he was here, he'd want me to sing about a garbage man. Just for old time's sake. I wonder what melody we used to sing that the garbage man can. Like, there's a song that we ripped off and rewrote lyrics to. What was that melody? I think it was to the Candyman Can, which is probably an older song than most of you would know, but the Candyman Can, Candyman, the Candyman Can. Ooh, that's it. Wait. Goddamn cigarettes ruining my fucking budget. No, not quite it. Ooh, wait, closer. So I know it's okay. It's one half step difference between that set of notes. I just got to figure out where the bass line is. And by bass line, I mean like bass line, not the bass line. So what's the fucking first note? The Candyman can. Nope. Candyman can. Okay. Well, I'm probably not going to figure that out without looking it up. My buddy says he might game in a bit. I might join you if it doesn't get colder. All right. And I'll keep live streaming just my face. Ha 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 ha. All right. So, we ready for another story? Oh man, something's wrong. That sounds good. That sounds good. Oh. Oh, I think we got it. Something's still off. This is what I love about guitar. It's fucking infuriating. Temperature changes plus constant playing, strings go out of tune pretty easily, if not easily, but depending upon the quality of your guitar, and this is a pretty nice acoustic, strings adjust, they stretch as you play them. So it's not the tuners, and it's not the guitar's fault, it's the strings' fault. And usually the players as well. The same is true on tuning a drum set. I was trying to teach someone the other day how to tune a snare drum, and I said, well, what are you looking for? He's like, I want a high-pitched poppy sound, but I think the rims are warped. And I said, well, why would the rims be warped? He's like, well, because I crank it so tight. I said, you don't need to crank it to get that sound. You have to tune a drum like it's a 3-note chord. So like on a piano, you would, do a 3-note chord, or on a guitar, you could do either a power chord or a traditional chord. But you have to tune the heads to the sound of the shell, because you can't change the shell, you can change the heads. So I took his snare drum apart, and it's a nice snare drum, but I detuned it. I took everything down to its base level, and I showed him the sound of his shell. Just, you tap on the side of it with no rim tension. And then I showed him how to take the resonant head, which is the bottom head, and tighten that up a little bit at a time, and then do the batter head a little bit at a time, and try to get one higher than the shell and one lower than the shell. And generally on a snare drum, it's counterintuitive, because you actually want the resonant head to be above and the batter head to be below. Whereas on toms and bass drums, you want the opposite. You want the batter side to be tighter and the resonant side to be lower so it can boom. But on a snare, you want the opposite. And I got it up there. I got it tuned up to where it sounded great, but it didn't sound like what he wanted it to sound like. He wanted it to sound like pop. He plays metal. But I think part of that is he just wants to cut through the sound mixture of his band, and he's forgetting that the snare drum is going to cut through no matter what. I think he just wants it to have that extra little bit. So he just kept cranking it, and I'm like, okay, all right. So it's your drum set, buddy. You're the one doing shows, so go ahead. But my professional opinion is he overcranked it and kept overcranking it. And your snare drum is like your bass and your snare are the two most important drums, of course. So your snare drum is your bass is your anchor. Your snare drum is your attack. It's your way to cut and do everything. And if you fucking just crank the shit out of stuff. Also, he wasn't using the correct tuning pattern, because I was trying to let him tune his own drum, but under my guidance. And he was doing it incorrectly. And like, hey, fuck, all right, it's your fucking drum set, dude. He's a good drummer. He just doesn't know how to fucking tune his shit. And the next day, he even when I saw him, he was like, I didn't like the way you tuned my drums. I had to change it. All right, it's your drums, man. But there's a reason you have 3 specific notes on each drum. I mean, you have the shell, batter head, resonant head. If you get them into a harmony, they're going to blend into the music. And it's not about cutting through. It's about making a simple sound on a guitar or someone singing sound better. The drummer's job is to serve the song. It's an old saying. And if you're going to serve the song, you need to be in tune with the band. And if you're trying to just crank it so you can cut through, you're undercutting what your fellow bandmates are doing. Now, at the same time, you do want to have a level of comfort and tune the things correctly, but get to where it's got the right bounce for you. So I can understand cranking it a little bit and then making everything higher pitched than the shell, but keeping it in harmony. So it still blends with the music, especially when you have a really nice drum set, which he does, because half the work's done for you. If you have a piece of shit drum set, or if you have bad heads or old heads, it's like having old guitar strings on a brand new fucking $5,000 Les Paul, and you just put shitty old strings on it. It's kind of defeating the purpose of having the nice equipment. But he had decent heads, not the ones I would use, but close. And I would say the only lesson he learned that day was how to fix his double bass pedal with an Allen wrench, because he had a double bass pedal that didn't work. And I said, if I'm going to play your drum set, I need a double bass pedal. And he said, well, here's this, but it doesn't work. And I said, do you have a set of Allen wrenches? I said, yeah. All right, give me that. Here's what I did. I showed him. I installed the double bass pedal on the kit and went to town. And I got to play some drums with double bass. Thank you. Because I need my hi-hat pedal and I need my 2 feet pedal. So I need 3 pedals. I mean, otherwise it just isn't fun. And I got to play a little bit, and he was like, holy shit, you fixed my double bass pedal. I was like, yeah. So even though he didn't like the lesson I gave on tuning his snare, he did like me repairing some of his equipment. And so he offered me a job as a drum tech for him, setting up for shows, setting up the equipment, breaking down the equipment, maintaining the equipment. And you know what? That's awesome. Because my real world skills and knowledge got me a job. All right. That's that story. I guess the side note is it doesn't start for another 5 weeks. Well, no, technically a week and a half, because I'm going to be doing some training with him on how he likes his stuff set up. Drum techs are supposed to do it to the drummer's specifications, not their own. So I gotta make sure I learn exactly how he likes his shit set up. Plus, he's really short. So if I set it up the way I do, his limbs will be all out of balance. So to do that job correctly, a drum tech sets things to the drummer's specifications, not their own. You can make recommendations, but you can't just change shit willy-nilly. So, but that's going to be fun. I'm going to use some of my time off of my other job and free time to get back out there, and even if I'm not the one playing on stage, at least be a part of the show. And my number one goal is to get some Def Leppard chants. Sound checking the snare. Okay. Sound checking Tom 1. Someone in the crowd goes, Def Leppard! Because the proper way to sound check is you got to remember that the sound guy's an idiot. And you need to, with a steady tempo about this, you need to hit the drum at about half of the full force that you're going to actually, or your drummer's going to use. And then let him dial that first one in. Usually the snares first. Then you dial Tom. Tom 2. For me, tom 3, then floor tom 1, then kick. And a good sound guy will then ask you to play like a fill, you know, so that he can make sure that he's got the levels right. But 90, maybe 92% of sound guys, they don't know to do that. They just, once you do the one at a time, they just say, all right, we got it dialed in, we're good to go. And then when you hear it back on the monitor later, when everyone else is done with their sound check, or even worse, once you're into your first song, and this has happened to me more than once, then you're like, oh shit, he didn't level that correctly at all. So yeah, a good sound engineer or PA guy will have you do that, hitting each one individually so he can dial them in, and then he'll have you do a fill that involves all of them. If you are playing a show where you have overhead boom mics for your cymbals, that's usually a good sign of the sound guy knowing what he's doing. But also, here's where a lot of drummers fuck up. You can't hit the mics. You got to let them set the mics, and you tell them, hey, put them on the top or put them on the side. Here's where I tend to flow. A lot of drummers fuck up because they don't communicate, and they don't tell, hey, Mr. Sound guy, you know, this is a house PA system that we're miking my drums up to. Here's how I can avoid damaging your equipment, and then you tell me how you can make it sound the best with your equipment. And if you come in it like that, which is why I am excited to be a drum tech, because I can do that. I can work for this guy who probably doesn't know that. He's a great drummer, but I don't think he has some of the knowledge he needs. He's definitely played for a long time. It's not like I know more than him about drumming. It's more like I know more about him than drums. And things like loading gear, transporting gear, tuning gear. He broke about $5,000 worth of my cymbals about 6 years ago because he didn't know what angle to set them at. And my old guitarist from that period let him use my cymbals. And he just kept, and still has terrible angles, but he just kept breaking shit because a cymbal's not supposed to ever break. If you use the right boom stand and you angle it correctly for your height and your attack angle for your arm length, a cymbal will never break. And I had like some of the highest quality cymbals you can get that are almost indestructible, and he managed to break them. And it was all because he uses weird attack angles and thinks that that's the way it should be. Yeah, that was fun because I wasn't in the state at the time. You know what? A funny story. My sister's husband is a drummer. He took another set of my Zildjian K custom hybrids over to Europe to go on tour, and he did the same fucking thing. He had everything angled incorrectly, and he broke them. I've never broken a cymbal since I was 16 because I learned the physics of how they're supposed to not get broken. Hands in the air. I mean, I guess they just think cymbals break, especially when they didn't pay for them. Motherfuckers. So, I got another project coming up. I'm supposed to be working with an old friend on some guitar stuff. There's no pay in this one, so it's not a job. But I'm going to be doing either acoustic guitar or maybe acoustic bass, or maybe both, depending on the song. But we worked together previously on an acoustic project. We worked on many projects over the years, but I think it was right around the start of the pandemic in 2020. So yeah, about, I guess, almost 5 years ago now. He gave me a set list and some tabs of acoustic songs, and he's a really good singer, but he's an amazing guitarist. So I was basically just going to do rhythm for him and play the chords and shit, and then he would sing, and I would maybe do backup vocals. And we had a good thing going. We probably only had 5 or 6 jams, but we already had like 12 songs that we could go perform, as long as I was sober. But I ended up leaving and having a bunch of life shit going on. And so recently, since I'm back near him, we have been talking about redoing that project and seeing if we can book some shows ourselves. Man, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this. I just wrote an intro to my old song. Huh. What the fuck did I just do? You know, that's the beauty of enjoying a little bit of marijuana from time to time. You get a little creative, but you also forget shit. So, all right. Let's see here. I'll do a one-header, I guess. Then I'll tell another story since I just rocked the fuck out. Should I tell a car accident story? I already told the highest I've ever been story, well, at least on weed. Maybe instead of a story about me, I tell a story about someone else. I don't know. What's a good story about someone else? Oh, I got one. Big Cletus, aka Rock Chopper. I won't say what drug he took when we were, I don't know, 17 and 18 years old, but I will say he took something to such an extreme that we ended up in his Ranchero car, his girlfriend and I, waiting for 6 days for him to wake up and thinking he was dead. Could not get him to move. And as he finally came out of the stupor that he'd put himself in, and I had already tried to sell my leather jacket for orange juice for him, and we had almost been kicked out of the motel that we were parked at a couple times. He just snapped out of it, got up, and Mr. Rock Chopper started walking. And he wouldn't say a fucking word. I was talking to him the whole time. Hey, man, what's up? Are you okay? Man, we were worried about you. Are you alive? Like, he didn't look at me, didn't say a word. Walked 2 blocks, city blocks. I think it was 2 blocks. It could have been less or more. Into a Burger King. And I'm following him the whole time, and he's not saying a word. He looks like he, if he wanted to, could shoot nuclear bombs out of his eyes and penis. He just came out of a stupor after like 6 days and hadn't eaten. We had managed to get a little water in him, but he was dehydrated and starving. And so he walks in, and manager sets a meal down on the counter. Now, we have no money to buy food from Burger King, or no money for anything. But manager sets down a tray, and this guy starts to walk up to get his family's meal, and Mr. Rock Chopper just walks in front of him and takes all the food and the drink and walks out of the store. And the dude that had ordered that food, it was for him, starts to like yell and get a little like fucking agitated, understandably. And I had to tell him, like, hey, listen, trust me, you don't want to fuck with him right now. I'm pretty sure he's capable of murder at this moment. I'm sorry, guys. Call the cops if you have to, but do not try to fight him. And they just let us go. And my buddy ate 2 full Burger King value meals, drank the soda, walked back to his car with me, and then was like, oh, hey, what's up, man? I'm awake now. Like, fuck. You know what just happened for the last week? So that's a story about someone else. All right. Let's see if I still want to play any guitar or not. I've been playing enough. I'm finally getting my calluses back. Oh, yeah. What's that old trick? Somebody tell me. It works a lot better on an electric guitar, but I do not. I am much better on acoustic because it's more forgiving. You know, electric guitar, you even slightly tap another string, everyone's gonna know it. Acoustic, you just fucking do it all. Alright, cool. No one's watching. No one has watched. And if I let it run longer, it'll discourage people from watching. Let's stick with that. It's my favorite chord. When you're in E flat tuning, playing an E flat major 1 octave up. I mean, it's the same as, but I just like it right there. I don't know why. Hits my ears right. Yeah, I like this guitar. A good buddy lent it to me. I can't wait to give it back to him in good condition because I got another one. But it has been serving me well, keeping me a little bit more sane. Not supposed to pluck up on the neck. No. Unless you got enough money to put a pickup up there and fucking go for it. What the fuck songs have I forgotten over the years that I should remember? Oh, wait, what's that? Quite Bitter Beings. Nicest. Shit. Oh. I used to be really good at that riff, and so it's like, so. Wait. Huh. I'm really tempted to look that up right now. All right. CKY 96 Quite Better Beings tab. Do I use Songster or Ultimate Guitar? Let's try the first link. Well, this is already wrong. Dude, what the the fuck is wrong with this? So it's... Why do I think that's wrong? All right, this looks more accurate. Okay. Oh, okay. That's the difference. That other fucking songster shit was wrong. Then shit. Fucking shit's hard with that hammer. Alright, that's pretty much the whole song. Alright, I'm glad I looked that up. Fuck. I'd still have to practice. I'm obviously sloppy with it, but let's give this one. I used to be really good at this riff. So, fuck. God damn it. Oh, that's why I'm not fucking stretching right on it. Okay. No. God damn it. Oh, I fucking hate guitar sometimes. Oh, wait. What is that song? Fuck, I can't even do that right. I know what'll fix this. That little bit of that. All right, that is slightly better. It's a whole nother part. Here's your co-conspirer. I can't remember that part. Fuck it. Why don't we look it up? No one's fucking watching anyway. All right. Vampira. Okay. Devin Townsend. Vampira. All right, let's go back to Ultimate Guitar. They got it like last time. Yep, that's all right. So, really? Oh, yeah, that's right. And then it's the 5. So. Oh, that's right. That's all fucking super high and shit. On an electric. All right. Cool. I do remember the part. And then, yeah. Sweet. All right. Well. Let's see here. We're getting dangerously close to ending this live stream. But I'm definitely going to have to go back and listen to that fucking intro I did to the riff, because I think that was decent. I don't know. I got a weird idea. Oop. I'm going to turn this around for a moment. I'm being a good boy. You should always drink lots of water. You don't know this, but I'm actually 85 drinking water. I guess it is story time. I got a story about me. I got a story about someone else. Wonder what kind of story I should tell next. is the story of Tolkaras? But that's kind of nerdy because he was an orc with a wolf pet. Yeah. Not a true story. Total fiction. I liked it. Oh, shit. All right. I am suddenly drawing a blank on how to be entertaining. It's probably because I forgot that no one's fucking watching. All right. That was weird. Interesting. Sometimes, all right, I guess I could tell some stories about my drumming. So, sometimes, like with any instrument, not just drums. I mean, even vocals. You're finding out stuff and just learning what sounds you can make, and then trying to gather sounds in a collection that you find pleasing. And when you're in a band, it's a collection of, however many people there are. All of them find pleasing. So, I mean, solo artists, they have one benefit, and that's that they're the sole decider of what happens, but they have the disadvantage of they're not getting the ideas that you're going to get from other people that might be amazing. And maybe you don't like them, but what makes a band work, and what's made my bands work, is you like it more than you don't. But when you don't like it, you can tell them, hey, I don't think that's right. Okay, all right. And people can tell me that. But that comes with a caveat. You still have to have your ability to have input. So it's not like one guy can just hold court. It definitely has to work like a relationship, give and take. I've always considered my bandmates basically a relationship like you would have with a girlfriend or boyfriend, just without the sex. The sex was actually just playing music. And by looking at it that way, I've been able to have the respect of bandmates and also have respect for them, and treating them like that. And it's like having a friend that you create something with. You approach it like a relationship, a collaboration, a group effort. That's why most bands break up, because they forget that. In my case, most of my bands well, you know what? I take that back. Half of my bands just split up because of logistics, money and logistics. Me not being able to travel, or me leaving the state, or there just not being enough money going on. And then the other half have probably been my fault for overindulging or not being considerate enough of other people's time. Yeah. That's a mistake a lot of drummers make. We're the ones that count the time, and then we forget about everybody else's. So, if you're ever watching this, future drummers, keep that in mind. So, I really dislike the guitarists that take an acoustic guitar and play beats on it along with their amazing guitar riff. And it's not that I'm not impressed, and I find that an extremely incredible skill, but I don't fucking like it. Dude, play a drum set or play a guitar. This isn't a drum set. Just because you can fucking make sounds with it that sound like a bass or a snare. That's like those people that do the pen tapping to make beats and rap over. Like, just play a fucking drum set. God damn it. You know, I don't sit there tapping on the table, humming guitar. How would I compare it? What would be an analogy? That's a tough one. I'm at a loss on that. I can't find a good analogy for why I dislike all these forms of percussion that aren't on a drum set. I guess it goes back to my severe dislike of electronic, like mostly in hip hop, but in a lot of genres now, fake drums, as I call it, where someone just has a mouse and they sit there and they create a beat or whatever you want to call it, and then they call themselves percussionists, and they ruin songs with that. Like if you gave a real drummer a chance, I'll give you a perfect example. If you go back on this same page, you'll see that I uploaded a song called 7 Days to Die that I didn't write. It was written by Tony Schnurr, Thick 44 from Noobs Gaming, but he originally used synthetic drums, and I re-recorded it with live drums. And so you can go to his YouTube. Rest in peace, Tony. Thick 44 forever. So, and you can hear the original, and then you can go to my page and look through the videos and find the live drum version. And you tell me which one's better, because everything is identical about the song except the drums. And I mean, that's kind of my point. Like, you're taking, it's kind of like how AI is doing. That's the analogy. How AI is able to synthesize a voice to any genre and write lyrics, and that stuff's going to start being what people listen to instead of real musicians playing real instruments. You know, I appreciate the hell out of, and it took me a long time, but rappers and hip hop artists that developed their voices and studied music and have brought it to another generation. That that's what it's about. But there's a certain element of music and musicians, and I won't even. I was going to put up the quotes, but no, I'm going to call them musicians. By definition, they are that use synthetic instruments and program what they're recording, releasing, and performing using a mouse and keyboard. Um, I just wish they would the exact same ideas they have, the creative part of their process, everything the same, and use that as a tool, you know. But when it comes to the actual recording and performance part, I think it should be a real musician on a real instrument, and that goes for every instrument I can think of. Of course, there's going to be synthesizers and all sorts of different forms of sounds that people get creative with. So it's not a universal rule necessarily, but rule. I can understand it. I didn't used to, but I've grown to understand it. But I think the people that create using those tools should know how to use the original tools and at least understand the dedication that it takes to actually become I won't even say musician, an instrument player. I'm terrible at guitar. I've been playing it for 20 fucking years. But I'm a great goddamn drummer. I've been playing that for 24 years. There is nothing I love more than playing drums. So I'm holding a guitar, making this speech, but playing drums is everything to me. I don't get to do it very often right now, but I got a guitar to hold me over, and so I still get to write and, you know, make sounds and stuff like that. No matter the genre of music that you like or dislike or feel strongly about one way or another, the love of music is there in all of them. There's a reason for that. I mean, it's kind of a universal language. Sometimes you can just hear something and it speaks to you without any words. And then other times you hear, and what most people hear are the lyrics of a song, and it just connects with you, and it reminds you of a feeling or gives you a feeling. For me, I don't give a shit what the singer's saying. I am so glued into what the drums and guitar and bass are doing on all of the music I listen to. And once in a while, the singer will catch my ear with something really impressive, but for the most part, I'm listening to the instruments. So what I've always said since I was a teenager is the listener's opinion is more important than the musician's. And by that I mean no matter how much you know about music or what you're doing, the person that's listening to it is who has the correct opinion. And that's not going to be true 100% of the time. But if you want to appeal to people and connect with them and create something meaningful without being selfish or self-absorbed, and do this with a group of people in a band, the people that are listening and enjoy it are the ones you want to pay attention to, instead of, I don't know, instead of getting so technical that you're just a virtuoso that doesn't care about if a riff is too crazy sounding for. So I mean, yeah, obviously there's room for that in songs and in parts of albums and stuff, but you have to remember, like, I hate the Beatles. The first song I ever learned in my entire life on any instrument was Yesterday on a keyboard. I was 5.5, and I could play the Beatles. By the time I was 11 and I was switching from piano to drums slowly, I realized the Beatles are just nursery rhymes. And ew, gross. Okay, so I didn't want to listen to them. Then I went to high school a few years after that, playing shows all the time, bars and barns and parties and fucking you name it. 14 years old, start dating, like seriously dating, like dating, and every fucking chick loves the Beatles. Like, why? What the fuck is this? I finally figured it out years later, because every Beatles song is retardedly stupid easy. Anybody can play it, any Beatles song. There's not a single one that's difficult to play on any instrument or to sing. You can sing right along with it. And I realized the reason women, well, I should say girls, I was in high school, so they were, we were young. But the reason all these girls loved the Beatles was how fucking mind-numbingly stupid and pointless every lyric was. And it was just like, I don't have to think. I can just listen. I don't have to think. I don't have to think. And you know what? I learned to appreciate what they accomplished. Paul McCartney is a great musician. John Lennon was a musician. But like, how huge they were, how successful they were, you can't take anything away from them. So I learned eventually to not hate the Beatles, just refuse to listen to them. I respect them. I'll give them that. But fuck, their songs are stupid. God, not one fucking song that takes more than 10 brain cells to play. And to think, they were around with Jimi Hendrix. There's a fucking musician. God damn. Fucking sons of bitches. Uh-oh. Rock Chopper sent a photo. Okay. Lame. What other musicians can I shit on? I mean, I could praise a lot. There's so many good musicians that I have either met or watched or listened to, and I probably haven't even scratched the surface. I will say I do have a couple of favorite guitar players. There's Brendan Small, who, if you don't know who that is, he originally animated and voiced a character on home movies on Adult Swim, which is available on Max, or you could steal it on YouTube, whatever. But he eventually became the writer, executive producer, and head musician for the show Metalocalypse, which if you've never seen that, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life. And then the band in Metalocalypse was Death Clock, and he did almost all the like writing for that. He had Gene Hoglan, also known as the Atomic Clock from Strapping Young Lad, as drummer, and they were fucking great. Fucking want me to listen to the Beatles, and there's Death Clock out there. Shit. Although I gotta say, Strapping Young Lad is better than Death Clock. Devin Townsend is my other favorite guitar player. Brendan Small, Devin Townsend. Heavy Devi. The man that made Skullets cool. I would play some archival footage, but I don't know if that'd be breaking any rules. I gotta get this angle changed so I'm not fucking constantly pulling that light into frame. Wonder if I could pull off a Western movie. An old country cowboy Western movie. Maybe. For the right money. I heard this story about Dimebag Darrell and how he practiced this one exercise every day where he just went up and down the strings and then up and down the fretboard doing hammer-ons, 1 fret hammer-ons and pull-offs. So, for example, he would start and then he would and he got to the point, like that's how he got so fast at shredding, because you could hear how slow I am. And he would just up and down the fretboard doing 1 fret hammer-on pull-offs. Anyway, that's the rumor. Pretty sure it's true. really fucking proud of finding this chord. I wonder what the fucking name of that chord is. Eight, 7, open, 7. Oh shit. Is that an open 7th chord? Huh. I have never used an open 7th chord. I'm not sure that's correct.
If a man really hated ads, here's what he would do. Day one,
yeah.
He would install Pi on his computer.
No, he would hit skip.
Hello there, and welcome to another video.
Okay, just skip to the fucking tablature here. God damn it. You had to put it in standard music notes. Now I gotta think. Alright. So, yeah. Okay. Instead of a video, I just need to see the fucking tab. God damn it. So, there it is. Oh. But that's down there. So, let's look at this. Other kinds of 7th chords. God damn it. It's an open 7th. Okay, I get it. Fucking goddamn internet. Contains all the knowledge in the world and makes it a pain in the ass to find it. All right. Well, I guess I should practice that one more time, then I'll call it. So, here's looking at you, kid. If I slowed down a little bit, I might get a little accuracy. Fingers just folded. All right, well, We got about 3 more minutes to make this an even 2 hours, so. What else do I know how to play? It's worth listening to. Oh man, it was like one of the first songs I ever learned on guitar. See if I can do that bass line. Oh. The only thing I never learned on that, I never learned that lead. Shit, I wonder if I could learn it right now. God damn it. I wonder if I could learn the one part of this song I don't know. 12, 9, 11. What the fuck? What the fuck? So it's... What the fuck? All right, I'm not doing that. Shit. Fuck all that noise. No wonder I never learned it. Fuck you. Just play the goddamn drums. All right. Well, that's about time to wrap it up, I suppose. I appreciate all 0 of you that watched. And I hope you all have a wonderful end of 2024 and an even better 2025. How do I end it? Oh. Bye.